Hello everyone, my name is Tatiana, Sweet Hobby Makeup, and this is my first video in English. So today I decided to tell you about all my AliExpress eyeshadow palettes, and I've got, how many? Five. I've got 5 palettes. So I'll start telling you about the first that I got, and I'll go to the last that I got. So, okay. My first palette was from Focallure, and actually that was my first purchase on AliExpress. And this palette is called Impressionism, and this is a dupe to Natasha Denona Safari palette. It's all matte. Actually, it's not really a dupe because it has more shades, and I love it. This is one of my most favorite palettes ever. I just love it so much. It is so good, it's so beautiful, and it can let you create absolutely stunning looks. Just so nice. Everything looks so natural with it. And the mattes, I am fine that there are only mattes. I don't need any shimmers. You can use anything else like a little highlight if you want to highlight the inner corner of your eye, but the palette is just perfect. The pigmentation is just what you need, and the colors are blendable. Just everything is so good. I just love it so much. I think I am even tired already to praise it, like to tell everyone about it. So, and I would recommend it everyone. It is not expensive because Focallure palettes are not expensive, and this palette opened me the world of AliExpress makeup, and from this palette I started buying AliExpress makeup, and just I love this palette so much. I will never stop saying that I love it. Okay, so I was so much impressed because this is called Impressionism that I got another palette from Focallure that's called Sweet as Honey, because it looks so lovely inside. It's just absolutely lovely. If you look at this, you love it. Like, I saw pictures and I wanted. I wanted to have this palette. I can't say that I am as impressed with this palette as with the Impressionism palette, because there are some shades that don't really go the way you want. The mattes here are perfect. The mattes are just perfect. But the shades, let me see, the shades Danger and Hypnotism, so Danger and Hypnotism, which are this one, which looks like green, and this one, which looks like very deep purple. They have this, black base, and you mostly see it. You don't see the shades, like you don't see green, you don't see purple. So that's really disappointing. And it's more like kind of pink or lavender palette to me. Like, yeah, not really lavender, I think more pink or mauve. Like, it is all about one story like this. So you can add some shades, but anyway, as far as the mattes here are all about these mauves, you still come to the same point. Even there is this shade that's called a rosy brown, and it looks like it's gray, but it doesn't look like this on the eyes. It looks more like mauve. So Focallure have this type of shades. Like, they also have the same type of color in this palette in Impressionism, which is called Hot Chocolate. And if you look at this, you think it is gray or like grayish brown something, but on the eyes it is kind of really deep lavender or something, and it's actually really lovely. I love this color as well as I love the color here, but the difference between the two palettes, that kind of it gives you more freedom. It is way more versatile than this one, because this one you see is all about like the colors that you see on the packaging. Okay, anyway, so as far as I was so much impressed with Focallure eyeshadows, I decided to go on, and I heard a lot of really, really good reviews. And I watched a lot of reviews on YouTube and everywhere about the brand named Ucanbe. And it's not only this thing, it's that they were the first who made the dupe to the palette by Lime Crime that's called Venus XL2, and this palette is called Magic Spell. This was the one that I bought from Ucanbe. I had to be waiting for it for a very long time, for about 2 months, and that was a terrible story behind it. Don't really want to tell you. So the palette looks like this. It looks really nice and beautiful. And if you look inside, you see something like that. There is a difference between Light Crime XL2 and this one. I think you can see loads of reviews where people compare the two palettes. But what I can say about this palette, I can say this palette is all about muted colors. You will never create a very bright look with this palette. You will create something muted, something for everyday life, daily makeup, like that. So even though there are really beautiful shimmers, they are very colorful, you still don't get that extensive or like very bright look. So I like this. For that, I like that you don't need to spend a lot of time creating or like blending or something, because you don't have problems with this palette. Absolutely. Like, you can build everything up. You will never get a very deep look, but you will get a very nice everyday look that you can wear in the morning. So I have a problem that I can't stop when I create an eye look. I want to go deeper and deeper and deeper. So, but with this palette, nothing works like this. So that's why I love this for early mornings, like when I don't have time and when I know that I can look too much, too much in the morning if I create my normal looks. So that's why, and the color story is really nice and interesting because you have this interesting greens, and the greens were the most interesting part for me when I decided to get the palette. So, and they've got another palette that's called Living Coral, and I also have it. And this isn't a dupe to anything. It's like that. That's what it looks like. And the idea, I think, is really close. If you buy them on Aliexpress, you can see that you can buy them in a bundle. So, and I think they're like about the same idea, even though they're different, because this one is way warmer, unlike this one. I never thought this was a cool palette, but now when I look at Living Coral palette, I understand this is cool and this is warm. And here you have kind of coral shades. The only thing which is a mystery to me is the shade named Coral, which is actually green, but it's called coral. Like, why? I don't understand. It's a mystery. So, the idea about this palette is the same as this one. The colors are muted. You won't create a bright look like that. So, it's nice. Everything is blendable. Shimmers are really nice, except the one that's called Lifted, which I don't understand because it's just a strange glitter or something. Okay. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It just, there is some glitter in it, that's all. The same thing about this. Some colors are really interesting here, especially those that I thought would be boring because we can see them everywhere, like this type of terracotta shades or orange shades. Like, I thought they would be the same, like I saw them everywhere, but actually on eyes they look different. This palette doesn't swatch well, as well as this one. They don't swatch well. If you look at the swatches, you may not like them. Like, that's why I didn't really understand when I saw different reviews and people were swatching it saying, "Oh, this is so beautiful. Oh, the pigmentation." And I couldn't understand what pigmentation. What pigmentation, guys? There is no pigmentation when you swatch this palette. Like, the pigmentation is really kind of mediocre, and but on the eyes, they look really nice. They look very natural. They don't give you the deep looks, but they give you very natural and colorful looks like that. So interesting. I think this is the main ideas of the two palettes. And the last palette I'm going to mention is called Back to School, and it looks absolutely amazing inside. And when I saw it, I just thought, I have to get it. I just have to. It's so beautiful. It looks like all the colors you could dream about are in one palette. This palette looks very versatile, like a lot of things. Like, the shades here are named after school subjects. Like, you have everything. The only thing is that I think they mean American school, because math, no. Maths, guys, it's called maths, and all other things. There is also a shade that's called art, that is the same as the one that's called Lifted. Like, you see, it's glitter in it. That's called Lifted in the Living Coral palette. So, and I'm not going to use it. But there is also something that was a big surprise to me. It's the shade that's called Psychology, which is not really a dry eyeshadow. I think it's more like a cream eyeshadow or something. And it's quite tricky to use it. So, anyway, the palette is really bright, but it doesn't really look as bright on the eyes, unfortunately. So you can build some colors up, but maybe not that much. It is more pigmented than the Living Coral and then the Magic Spell palettes, but it is not that much pigmented as you may expect when you look at the palette. Some shades are really interesting and really beautiful, but maybe it didn't really live up to my expectations. That's why I'm saying it. So anyway, I think the palette is really good. It's nice. It's interesting to work with, and the shimmers here are somehow really unique because some colors here, like no one color here is a duochrome actually. Like one, two, three. I would say three colors are more like duochromes here. So really nice and beautiful. And itself, like I actually think I need more time to use this palette to know it and to love it. Say, but anyway, I really wanted to share my thoughts about these palettes from AliExpress because I think nowadays people buy AliExpress palettes more and more. And if you don't mind, could you please leave your comments down below about what you think about the palettes from AliExpress. If you have any of the palettes that I showed you today, those that I've got, maybe you have some other palettes that you would recommend or you love very much. And also, if you like the video and if you found it more or less interesting, could you please subscribe to my channel because it's so lovely and nice. And at that time, I feel I'm a superstar. Okay, thank you for watching the video and I see you next time. Bye.